Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
My name's Obert.
And I'm Jordan.
Oh, hey,
yeah.
Jordan, how's it going?
Hey, good. I thought I'd hop in here for a little bit with you guys.
Yeah, this was not planned, not scheduled.
No, not at all.
Nope.
I saw you guys on the podcast recorder of your choice, and
He Zoom bombed us.
decided to
Jordan
hop in.
Zoom bombed us.
Yep, that's what I did. So I'm here to stay, whether you like it or not.
Okay, I'm not happy about it, but I guess I have no choice.
He just conveniently was sitting there at his computer with his microphone and a beer handy. And
I'm always sitting here at night, ready to go.
Just waiting.
Microphone in front, beer by the side.
Oh, someone's recording a podcast. I'm gonna get them.
Yeah. One of these days.
Oh, awesome, man. Well, it's been such a long time since we've had you on. Thank you for coming back. How are you? How's things? How's life?
Things are great. Life is great. I don't even honestly remember the last time I was on this podcast. You guys were on mine, I think, more recently than I was on yours.
Yes,
So
I believe that's true.
Yeah, so anyone who remembers me from a year ago, I've moved to Texas since then, and it's been great. We moved in the summer, kind of settled in. It was very hot and humid compared to what I'm used to in Southern California, but we got through it. And now we're in the winter, where it's a lot colder than I'm used to in Southern California, and we'll get through it. So it's been great. Things are a lot bigger out here. It's true what they say.
okay, so what does that mean, though? Because everybody says that.
So literally, every target here is a super target, but not just a regular super target, like a giant, like even bigger than the super targets back at where I used to live. And they're grocery stores here. So the Kroger, which I've never been to an actual Kroger. We had Ralph's where I live, which is just Kroger name brand. But the Krogers here are the size of Walmart's. You could buy your groceries and you could buy some jeans all in the same spot. Like I got to 15,000 steps the other day just by running errands around this town. Like it's ridiculous.
Just from Kroger.
Yeah, just from Kroger. So when they say everything's bigger, they just mean it's like a lot more spread out.
Okay. So
Well, they have all that land mass. They got to fill it up
Yeah,
somehow.
there's so much land here.
So you go to Target and your cart is like the size of like a mid-sized sedan.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All the trucks are a lot bigger out here.
Yeah. The aisles are 40 feet wide.
Yeah.
Oh man. Damn.
Yeah, it's been good. We've really enjoyed this move. It's been great, and we're finding a lot of cool places that we've been going to. I've become a huge fan of the Major League Soccer team out here because no one else in this town wants to be. So I've been able to go to a game of that and kind of watch them and everything. So that's been pretty cool. And Texas is open compared to California, which is nice. So we have been able to see the sights a little bit more than we probably would, but I haven't actually been to a brewery yet. I've gone to pick up beers, but I haven't actually stopped in to one of them yet. So that's still on the list to do once the holidays are over and things hopefully calm down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Got to be tough going to a new place when you can't really experience it, in the truest form.
I feel like I would be too social. I try to go up to talk to people at tables, and that's just a big no-no right now. So,
Right.
I'll enjoy their beers from the comfort of my home.
Yeah. I mean that is the one we've talked about it before, and I'll talk about it again. But I miss going to breweries, even with the kids, bringing them in there and just hanging out and talking to the people. It's just, and I'm not the social butterfly that Jordan is. But yeah, so I'm excited.
You're like a social caterpillar.
Yeah,
you have the potential. You just haven't cocooned it yet.
I think he's a social metapod, just keeps using harden, and he's never going to get out of that cocoon.
Yes.
No, every once in a while I'll have some more beers and I'll turn into a social butterfree, but I need
as long as you're wearing the scarf and some sappy music plays, perfect butterfree moment.
Exactly. Yeah. Set me free, be free Butterfree or whatever it is.
Bye Butterfree.
Bye Butterfree. That's it. There it is. Awesome. Man, that's good, man. I'm happy for you. I'm glad things are working out down there. I have never been to Texas, but now I'm gonna have to go because
definitely. I mean,
now I got a
we
place
all
to
know.
stay.
Yeah, hey, by all means, man. And what's great about here, we have the extra room right now. So we when we were in California, we had a 1-bedroom apartment. Then we moved here and we got a 2-bedroom. But what's nice about here is we can actually afford a home. So eventually down the line, our plan is to have a place that then we'd actually have even more room for all you guys to show up.
There you go. Yes.
A
There we go.
lot of the recommendations I've gotten actually have been from Tud because he's been to Dallas so much. He gave me quite a few spots to go check out, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Tud does love him. Tud does love him some Texas.
Yeah.
But now we clearly know it's because everything is Tud size down there. Everything's
Yeah, exactly.
you need mighty big spaces to fit Tud's ego. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Tud loves him some Tud. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
So when we have our first annual DAWFCon, where it's going to be hosted at Jordan's house, so we're all piling in.
I like it.
Well, the houses in Texas are the size of your average mansion.
Right.
Yeah,
Anywhere
exactly.
else.
We'll have a lot of space for everyone. I'll make lanyards. It'll be great.
Two bedrooms, 1 bath, 4,200 square feet. Oh man. Well, I know it's been a long time, but on this podcast, Jordan, we actually drink beers. So,
Oh man, my
drinks of
favorite
your
thing to
choice. It doesn't even have to be beer. But as the guest, do you want to go first? Do you want to defer? I'll leave it up to you.
I'll pick up the rear. You guys can go first, and then that way I'm not messing up the format starting off.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll go first. See, haha! It was
This is the trick.
it was
all
it
by
was a
Chris.
trick.
All along.
Reverse psychology.
I got you.
You got me.
I'm such a mastermind. I have a beer that came courtesy of Obert, which apparently I was the only person that got. So that's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah, this one came from historic Casanova Liquors in Wisconsin. And I was just so overwhelmed when I went there. The guy was like, you got to get this, got to get this, got to get this. Built some mixed 4-packs of, single beers. And then I was like, okay, time to split them all up. And everybody got something that nobody else got. And this was one of the ones that Chris got that I didn't get to try. So I'm excited to hear what it is.
I know, and I'm excited because the can art is pretty cool, but it's called Critical Path, which is a hazy IPA from Wild Mind Artisan Ales from Wanakee, Wisconsin. Wow.
Sure.
Is that the one
Yeah.
that's spelled WANEUKA?
WAUNAKEE.
Yeah, they got some weird names in Wisconsin.
I'll send a picture of this to my sister who is in Wisconsin.
She
and
speaks
see if-
Wisconsin.
She speaks.
Oh, okay.
She understands. I don't think she's fluent, but she can.
Right.
She can read it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she can't write it, but she can speak it. For
Right,
sure.
right.
Exactly. So it's a hazy IPA, and the can art, as I said, was kind of neat. It's a critical path, so it's just got this, like, I don't know how you'd explain it, like
I would say it looks like what you would see on a Starship controller in a sci-fi movie.
yeah, okay, yep, that's about right.
It's just like
Yeah,
a
what
lot
was
of
that
a weird
video-
circuit diagram.
Yeah, what was that video game where you had to do the circuitry? Was it like BioShock or something where you had to like flip the circuits and get it to run in the path for electricity or something?
Yeah, that was BioShock. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what came to mind. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Just check out the Instagram. You'll maybe see it.
Chris, that means you're going to post a picture of this one, right?
Well, we'll find out. But as you can see, it is a hazy boy. Pretty hazy, nice and orangey color. Nice little head on it, and it's not dissipating either, which I kind of like. See, on the nose, I get some citrusy notes, but I have a feeling that this might have a little bit of earthy tones to it just from the smell. So it's Matuka, Raku, Wakatu, Pacifica, and Centennial hops. So that's not a hop combination you see very often. So,
No.
but we're going to get into it. We're going to see what this critical path is all about. So thank you, Obert, for thinking of me when you bought just this one beer. You're like, who would like this?
Yeah, we found out Chris doesn't speak Wisconsin, but he does speak hops, so that's good.
Yes. They sound very similar. They're of the same dialect.
That is interesting. It's very bold. It's got a very bold flavor to it. It's almost like really straight up front. You get hit really hard with, it's like earthy with a hint of tropical fruits, but nothing. It's way more earthy than that. Let's see. It's one. Okay, so the can's a little older, but it's not old. Not.
You said it's about 6 months old.
About 6 months, yeah. But yeah, it's kind of, it's weird. Like, is it weird? I want to say it's almost got like a minty kind of appeal. It's like very, it's not mint, but you know how
like
mint
herbal
feels? Yeah. Like a more herbally kind of thing. Yeah. Like how mint feels, but not mint.
Mint adjacent.
Mint adjacent. Yes. It's like
basil.
Yeah. Basil?
Maybe.
Basil might be. Yeah. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I feel like basil is of the same, like, they're both leafy.
They're both leafy. There was
They're both leafy.
one time I was trying to make mojitos at home, and I was not paying enough attention in the grocery store. I left with a thing of cilantro instead of the mint. So maybe it's cilantro. That's their mint adjacent flavor.
Did
There
you
you
end
go.
up making the drink with the cilantro?
No, I don't even know what I did with it. I probably just tried to make some pasta sauce or something.
Oh, man, because that could have been the key. Maybe no one's thought to do it because it's too crazy, but maybe it's just crazy enough.
Just now that you know that cilantro is mint adjacent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's basically, if you look up substitutions for mint in a recipe, cilantro's right there.
If they had an IBU system for leafy greens, it would be mint, basil, cilantro.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Does that mean you can make guacamole with mint? That's what I want to know.
Ooh. I think you could make anything with mint. The question is, should you?
Right.
That's true. That's a
Right.
good point. So the more I'm drinking this and the more my palate's adjusting too, because it did hit me pretty hard right up front. My palate's adjusting, so any beer I drink after this is gonna be just destroyed. But it's really good. I do get the earthy and some tropical fruitiness up front, and then it kind of tails off a little bit. It's a little bitter or minty. I don't know. One of the two. But I mean, it's very different than what you expect your hazy IPAs to normally be, and but not in a bad way. It's just different. So I'm going to give this. I'm gonna have to look up tasting notes because I need to know what I'm tasting. But I'm gonna give this a 3.75. So it's good. It's different. But I'm like happy it's different. You know, it's like it's not the same IPAs you drink over and over and over again. So
Do you think it scored higher because it's different? And if IPAs this was a similar taste for IPAs, do you think it would have scored lower? Like, do you think it's the gimmick that's getting you?
no, it's a well executed beer. Even if this was like a standard for IPAs, I mean, I'd probably give it a 3.75 still. But that's a good question. We've talked. I mean, you listen to the podcast, but like we just we love our hazy boys here. So like Citra and Mosaic, like that's our go-to.
Yeah.
So I think they were like, it's either one of two things. They were trying to experiment, or they're like, oh crap, we got all these hops left over. Let's throw them on.
Yeah.
But either way, it came out really good, and I know nothing about these guys, so I'll have to, like I said, I'll send a picture to my sister and see if she's heard of them.
Yeah, so I have it up here. They're actually from Minneapolis, Wild Mind Artisan Ales.
Maybe that's.
And I do have the Untapped average, if you would care to guess.
I think for the first time in a while, I think this one's not going to quite hit 4. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to hit 4. I think it's going to be a 3.87.
Well, you were right. This is a low one for us. This is a 3.71.
Okay, all right, so
Yeah, so you weren't alone in finding it a little different.
okay,
Yeah,
that makes me feel a
I
little
think
better
that-
because sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I'm
Is my tongue the weird one?
yeah. Am I the weird one, or does everybody taste not mint?
Yeah,
Okay, so
they
I mean,
say-
long shot for Man of the People this week.
They say for tasting notes, citrusy, light, smooth, melon, and crushable over the tags on Untapped. So not a full flavor profile on here with their 1890 check-ins, but
Huh. Okay.
yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I'm gonna look up the Pete, Tom, Bob, and Frank or whatever.
Those
I'm gonna
guys.
look up those guys. Okay, but I'll look it up. And Obert, what do you have for us today?
All right, so as you can probably tell from the various sleigh bells and flying reindeer sounds and gentle ho-ho-hoing in the background.
Yes,
All
very prevalent.
Maybe Mariah Carey, the ghost of Mariah Carey is in the background too. Who knows? But I have a Christmas beer this week because it is the season, as they say.
That's true.
You know, we only got one more episode between now and the holiday. So I hope you're all doing your shopping, people. And if you celebrate Hanukkah, I think you're already like day 5 by now. So you gotta get in there. This week I have the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Peppermint Porter,
Interesting.
which Jenna mentioned last week on the show. She said it was really good. So upon hearing that, I was like, okay, I got to try and find some of this. Was able to find a 4-pack and had to find out for myself if it lives up to the hype. So I was a big fan when these guys first came out, when I first started seeing the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Porters in like mid-2010s. You know, I think at the time they were one of the more prevalent bourbon barrel-aged beers you could get anywhere. And this is the first year I've started to see a lot of the varieties around. I saw that they have like a vanilla one, and I think there was at least one other one. But because Jenna mentioned this one and she made it sound delicious, I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. And wow, just pouring it, this thing smells like a junior mint in a glass.
Ooh.
Maybe a thin mint. I don't know. If I had a blind smell test, if I could distinguish between a junior mint and a thin mint, which ones would be. But that's for further research for me, I guess. Have either of you guys had this one before, or had a peppermint beer before? Speaking of minty beers.
I haven't had that version of the Kentucky. I've had regular Kentucky bourbon barrel aged one, but mint beer. I used to get Victory at Sea from Ballast Point, and they had a peppermint version.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I like the original a little bit more, but I don't see many mint beers out there. They're kind of few and far between.
Well, we've had 2 on this podcast tonight, so.
Yeah, so you guys are really fine.
Yeah.
I've had the Southern Tier's Thick Mint. I don't know if you've ever had that. It was one of their Girl Scout cookie knockoff beers.
I see the pun now.
Taste-alikes or whatever, and it was that was very good. But I love thin mints.
Yeah, and thick mints.
And thick mints. And what are the green mints? What are the green Andes mints?
Oh,
Ooh,
Andes
maybe
are
that's
great.
what this smells like.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
It smells
Andes
like I'm
mints are
walking
so
out of
good.
an Olive Garden. But yeah, the head dissipated rather quickly, and you know, as you can imagine, this is what a peppermint porter would look like. It's pretty dark, you know, talking upper 30s on the SRM scale here.
Approaching 1 billion.
Approaching 1 billion, but not quite. You know, it's still, if you shine a light through it, you can see.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not impenetrably dark. But wow, it's just a ton of peppermint on the nose. I'm excited to try this out. And as you guys know, I am not a fan of peppermint schnapps. That was one of my first ever Face Your beers. But I like thin mints. I like mint flavor in general. So
Okay.
this is not a Face Your beers segment, because I think this is actually going to be something enjoyable.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Lots of this is a thin mint. This is a thin mint in a glass, basically. It's not, like I said, it's not a very thick beer. This porter, it's still pretty light and drinkable. Viscosity wise, it's not super thick, but it definitely tastes like a thin mint beer. And if that's what you're into, if that sounds good to you, you should try and find some of this, because you will not be disappointed.
That sounds so awesome.
Right.
There's a brewery, I think, out here called Lakewood, and they have a beer called the Temptress, which everyone's kind of raving about. And it's I don't know if it's a milk stout or if it's just a regular stout, but they have this variation pack with different versions like coconut Temptress, peanut butter Temptress, and they just put one called Sin Mint on there. And I saw it won like a gold medal in something or other. Someone just posted it, won some accolades somewhere. So maybe since mint is now on my brain, I might have to go find this guy at my local craft
that sounds
shop.
really good. And
Right.
as delicious as this beer is, that is one thing I would say that I think it would be a little bit better if this was like a milk stout. You know, if this was made with lactose or just a little bit thicker than it's very light bodied. I think a little bit more robust body would serve this beer pretty well. But on the flip side, this 12-ounce bottle will go down pretty smooth, and I won't feel like, this is a good dessert beer if you had a full meal and a full Christmas meal. You're not sure how you're going to fit any beer in your stomach. This one you could fit.
You could fit that one?
Yeah, it's not super heavy.
So do you get a lot of bourbon flavor?
No.
Okay, because it is supposed to be a bourbon barrel porter, right?
Yeah, and that's a good question. I got the bottle here, 8.2%, by the way. And it says to you that it's aged in oak bourbon barrels, but, when these guys first came on the scene, there weren't a lot of beers that, at least in my awareness, that were doing the bourbon barrel aging. These guys were one of the first, and I feel like they've kind of stayed at that level where a lot of other, you've got like Founders, like KBS, and you've got a lot of other really good, Tud loves his Goose Island Bourbon County beers. There's a lot of really good bourbon barrel aged beers out there. This one, I purposely let this get a little warm before I cracked into it to see if I could get a little bit of that bourbon flavor, that oakiness. It's just washed away by the peppermint. This doesn't taste any different than I would if this hadn't been barrel aged. I don't think I would really be able to tell.
If I remember correctly, the original Kentucky one that I had, just the straight Kentucky bourbon barrel aged ale, it didn't taste boozy to me. It tasted malty for what I assumed it would be. So that kind of makes sense that it doesn't have that punch in the face that some bourbon barrel aged beers have. So that kind of makes sense. But I kind of like that. Sometimes that like booziness is it kills all the flavor of everything else. So I like that this lets it breathe a little bit more, it sounds like.
Yeah. I think there's a version of this beer that you could make with maybe a little bit more blending where you could, because peppermint's such an overwhelming flavor. And again, I haven't really said this explicitly, but there's a lot of chocolate flavors in here too with the Thin Mint comparison. I think if you were to blend in more of just like a straight bourbon barrel aged porter or stout, you could maybe unlock a little bit more of that oakiness that's overwhelmed by the peppermint flavor. But if you want something that you don't have to hunt, you're not like, oh, well, there's a little bit of peppermint in here, like this is the beer for you. This is like, bam, this is a Thin Mint in a glass.
So everyone's
Nice.
sticking peppermint sticks of gum in their beer. Stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
Go buy this beer.
Oh,
Exactly. If you're French pressing your beer with chewed peppermint gum, just dropping Window Green Lifesavers into your beers before you drink them, this is the beer for you. Yeah.
Window Green.
But yeah, I can't help but be a little critical, even though this is delicious. So it's only going to get, 3.75 from me. The novelty of this makes me want to give it into the 4 territory because, as we've said, we haven't seen many peppermint beers around. But I think there's a better peppermint beer out there. I just haven't found it yet. And it sounds like both of you have described candidates. So I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, I was always a fan of it.
Yeah,
for
both the thick
was very
mint
good.
and the Sin Mint. If there's other Thin Mint pun beers out there, we'll track them down.
We'll find them.
Yeah.
So out of the 4,859 check-ins on Untapped, what do you think it rates?
Not that many. I'm surprised. This is a big national, but I guess it's seasonal. So I think this is going to be like a 3.88.
Okay, no, it's actually higher. It's 4.02.
Okay, breaking the 4 barrier. surprising. Yeah.
Now, my friends think it's amazing. They gave it a 4.36.
Okay.
With a couple 5s and 4.75s. So, and then a 3. Shout out to friend of the podcast, Brandon, who is at the Craft Handler on Instagram. Giving it a 3. Let's go.
Hey, at least he tried it. At least he tried it.
He tried it. Yeah, he's probably not. He's not shocked by the peppermint.
No.
But cool, awesome. Yeah, I like those peppermint beers. I'm gonna have to try and see if I can hunt this one down.
So we saved Jordan for last, which is good because he always has like some really knockout descriptions of the beer. So it's good that none of us had to follow that.
Right.
You know,
real Tim
My
and Pete
knockout
and Tom.
subscription.
Yeah.
It's carbonated and tastes good.
Yeah. There's bubbles in it.
Damn.
There's alcohol.
Why didn't I think of the word good?
Yeah.
I know, right? You can't take it now.
Damn it, no.
So I'm drinking a beer. There's a brewery out here called Rar and Sons, Rahr. I've had a bunch of their stuff out here. They have one called the Dadgum Coffee IPA, which is so good. I love it. But this one's called the Winter Warmer English Style Dark Ale. So I'm going to pop this guy. One thing I don't like about this brewery is, I don't know if you can see their can here. Mm-hmm. Every can has a consistent can art where it's just a different color, but it's the same design on all of them. I find that very boring. I wish they would venture out a little bit more than just the same can, just with different colors.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
But who am I to knock on their marketing team?
It makes for a clean look when you're looking on the shelf and you see them all next to each other.
It's true.
Like, I think Oscar Blues is the same thing.
Yes.
Where, like, all their cans look pretty much the same. But, come on. Be a little bit more creative, people.
Come on, stupid breweries.
So surprisingly, this is a bit darker than I thought it was going to be. Oh, no, it's pretty brown. On an SRM scale of 1 to 100, it's brown. So it has a nice head on it. The smell, it smells like winter spices. So I have a feeling this is going to be reminiscent of a Christmas beer, which is what I was hoping for. All right, let's give this bad boy a shot. Okay, so it's definitely tastes like an oaky brown ale with very slight, I want to say almost maple on the background of it. There's definitely something sweeter to it, but it definitely has that oak first flavor coming through, which I don't mind. I'm a huge fan of brown ales. I know it's kind of a blasé style. Most people are kind of bored with that style. I'm a huge fan of them, and I like this one a lot. So, I wish it had a little bit more spice, because the smell is a little bit spicier than the taste is. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that gets you primed, and then if it doesn't deliver, it's a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
I'd probably go... So I'm a bit more... So my rating scale on Untapped is a little bit higher than you guys. I had this problem in like high school and stuff on iPods when I would rate my stars of songs. Songs that I absolutely hated got like a 2.5. So that meant that songs that were just okay get a 4, and then songs I love get a 5, right? So... Typically,
well, to be fair, Jordan, if it's on your iPod, you can't hate it that much. Like you only had 40 gigs to work with.
You don't know the joke about me. I collected music like a madman. It used to be, the joke was, because I used to have, I think, 35,000 songs on my iTunes, and the joke used to be, it's on Jordan's iPod. He doesn't know it, but it's on there.
It's there. So, you had one of the 250 gigabyte ones?
I did. I always bought like the biggest one ever, and I would fill that bad boy up, and I would not know like half the stuff that was on there. But this one, all that to say, this guy, I'm gonna give a 4, because that's pretty like good for me. Like if I enjoy the beer, but I think it's got room to grow, I think a 4 is kind of where I lay it, and I think I'm gonna go a 4 for me on this beer. Yeah,
nice.
It's a style I enjoy. And it's a nice thing to warm you up. When you don't have the fire going, here's some liquid fire. So I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got to ask, do you miss having an iPod?
No. So here's the bad thing, too. It's only been a few years I haven't had an iPhone and an iPod. I used to carry both because they didn't make iPhones big enough to carry all my music. So I'd be rolling, get you. Yeah, I'd be rolling into the gym with 2 pockets full of Apple products.
But it's no longer. You had to get rid of
No
it.
longer. No, now they make the 256s, and I've actually cut it down. I'm down to like 12,000 songs or something now. I've cut quite a bit out.
Are you more into streaming now? Is that what it is, or?
No, I don't stream at all, actually. I've always found it very inconvenient because anytime I want to stream something, it doesn't work. It just, Murphy's Law. Every time I really am digging some music, it just doesn't stream. So I kind of keep it local on the phone for the most part.
Well,
Plus, I
our
listen to a
Skype
lot
call
of-
already broke once tonight.
Yeah,
So
see, technology, it's just hating on me lately. I don't know what's going on.
streaming and Jordan just don't add up.
Nah, not good.
You said this is the winter warmer English style
Winter,
vodka?
yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay, cool.
And they say up here on the back of the can, it says, Prost, y'all. A little bit of beer culture and Texas culture getting mixed
I like
together
it.
there.
Nice. Yes. Well, it is Oktoberfestapalooza, as we all know.
It's
And-
continuing till next year, October,
It's
right?
that special
Yeah.
11-month season.
I like it. Perfect.
Okay, so this beer is probably the weirdest check-ins I've ever seen. So it's no longer in production, according to Untapped.
Really? This is only a 2-month-old beer.
Well, according to Untapped, it's no longer in production, and there's
that's
only
funny.
30 check-ins.
Maybe
So I have
you're on
no
the wrong
idea.
version or something.
Maybe it's possible.
I found the Winter Warmer from Rar and Sons with 12,000 check-ins. Is that what this is? Yeah. And just straight up Winter Warmer is all it is for the description. But there's 12,000 check-ins, so.
Yeah, I think that's the
Okay,
right guy.
so
then.
I think I was in a more in-depth one.
Okay.
That
You
was-
were on the dark web of Untapped. You
I found the bad sites. Okay. Anyways, Ober's got it.
I got it. So what do you think the average is here?
So I know people around here really love RAR. Like, they go crazy for it out here. I'm going to say, because people usually think brown ales like this are kind of generic, I'm going to go 3.96.
All right. No, I feel like Tudge should get man of the people today because it's a 3.74.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is
Damn.
low.
Yeah. I know.
So who was it? Ober? I think Ober was man of the people. Yeah, Tud's man of the people.
yeah.
Here, send him a digital honk, honk, honk.
Yeah. I'll just text him a honk right now.
Damn, we suck tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
What happened.
Yeah, not good.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It is what it is. But
It is what.
that's you've said you've liked other Rar and Sons beers, right?
Yeah, I've had probably 3 or 4 from them now, and I've enjoyed all of them. I thought they've been very delicious. Nothing outstanding, like nothing that kind of stood out from like other good breweries, but all of them were solid, which is good. So I kind of like consistency over, okay, we have one beer that's kind of this flair beer, and then the rest of them are just bleh. I'd rather go to a brewery that kind of has everything that's good.
Right. But if they were song titles on your iPod, none would get 5 stars.
No, none would get 5 stars. No, they get close, but not all the way to 5.
Right. Right.
That's reserved just for like Separate Ways by Journey. I mean, the song has to be amazing.
Well, we all know sometimes the 4.5 is the sweet spot. You know,
That's true.
If you see
That's
5,
true.
it's a little suspicious. 4.5,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good point. It's a good point.
So, Jordan, we talked a lot about the things that you're liking from Texas. What are the things that you're missing the most about back home, other than the consistent weather?
Yeah, well, that's a big one. I think one of the things, so it's kind of hit or miss out here. So they have what's called Tex-Mex, right? Which is a little bit different Mexican food than what I'm used to back in Southern California. And I found some really good places. There are some good ones out here, but we found some ones that are really, really not good. So I feel like that's kind of one of the things I'm missing is just consistent Mexican food. But what's cool and also very different from about out here is in California, it's all about the burrito. Like when you go to Mexican places, they're like, get the burrito. The burrito's really good. You know you're going to be fine if you order the burrito. But out here, taco places are all over the place. Like we have a Velvet Taco, there's Fuzzy's Tacos, there's Torchy's Tacos, Taco Crush, like, and they're all good. These tacos places, like, they're insane. So I feel like I miss the burrito isn't life, but hey, I'll substitute for a few tacos. That's all good with me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So you're missing, I
Yeah.
guess, is California, would you say that's like Baja style?
Oh, 100%
Okay.
Baja style. Pico de gallo, avocado on everything. That's the way you do it. Here, it's more like heavier sauces on
Chipotle.
stuff, and like kind of, and then like ground beef and everything. Like they want to push ground beef on you all the time. I'm like, I don't want ground beef. Just that's not what I want in my Mexican food.
Well, if you want, just try moving to Montana for a couple months, and then you'll be glad for any decent Mexican food.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I was in Boston once, or Boston area for work, and I went to what claimed to be a Mexican restaurant, and it tasted more like what do they have in Louisiana?
Like Creole style?
Yeah, kind of like that. Like I was like, this is not Mexican food. There are way too many Creole spices and gumbos in this place to be a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, Connecticut obviously is not known for the great Mexican food, but I have been getting my fill when I'm out of Montana. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Of some halfway decent Mexican. But I mean,
That's so
I would
funny.
definitely take the California or Texas style over what I got. So
I have a question for you, Obert, because you mentioned on the last podcast, I think it was you, I hope it was you, that you said when you guys were talking about your drunk food places that you like to go, you mentioned In-N-Out Burger. And I was like, oh, man, I totally agree with Obert. I would always go to In-N-Out on drunken nights. I would start there and end there. That's how bad it got. But I thought for a second, where did you live that an In-N-Out was accessible to you?
no, so I've had In-N-Out and it's been delicious, but I've never had the pleasure of, other than maybe in Las Vegas once, like ending a night drunkenly at an
Okay.
In-N-Out.
Okay, because I was like, oh, man, In-N-Out's really branching out, and I was unaware of this.
Yeah, but like I think like the equivalent would kind of be Five Guys, but
Well,
you know.
don't tell people in California that you will get murdered because
Right.
people love their In-N-Out. I think it's okay. It's good. It's good. It's good, but it's definitely not the best like everyone tries to make it out to be.
Yeah. Now that I'm talking about it more, I'm like remembering that one hazy night I had in Las Vegas that ended it. And that was like, I think that was my first ever In-N-Out experience.
Oh,
and
nice.
I don't remember a lot of details at all, but
You don't remember if you went animal style or not?
I think I did, but
Yeah, you got it. When you're drunk, you got to soak it all up.
yeah.
I've never been. I don't know what any of this means.
So it's funny because In-N-Out, like, I don't think that there's another burger place that actually tastes like In-N-Out to me. I feel like they're their taste is on their own. So it would be hard to tell you to go somewhere else to replicate it. I'm not saying that it's on its own because it's leaps and bounds above, say, like a Five Guys or something, but just it's a little different that, you know, how it's made and what's on it and everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's on the to-go list. It just it never happened. You know. And in the foreseeable future, I don't see an In-N-Out in my.
Well, we got
happening.
two in Dallas, so when you guys come
Oh.
over here for
Yeah.
DAWFCon,
That's night one dinner.
yes, night one dinner. It'll be
We're
catered.
Catered by
Provided
In-N-Out.
by In-N-Out.
Night 2 is Taco Bell. So,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 100% good with that.
There's a lot of discussion on the Discord today about
There
Chris
was. There was-
not getting ever having
Not
had Taco Bell before.
yeah, and Dana is supposed to divorce me or something. I saw that.
Dude,
I
I
was-
love Crunchwrap Supreme so much. My wife and I are like trying to replicate them in the house because we love them so much.
It's hard to do. Considering
Yeah,
how
no,
cheap a Crunchwrap is at Taco Bell, it's hard to justify making your own.
Yeah, just because it probably takes a lot harder than the little like frozen thing they got.
Yeah.
Warmer.
Yeah, but at this point, it's like, you know, I don't know if I want to have Taco Bell because now, after the discussion and everything today, like, what if I really like it? And it's like, oh, there's 30 years wasted, you know? Like,
Yeah,
I
but
don't think this question is what you were definitely gonna like it.
Yeah.
What if?
imagine you have Taco Bell 30 years from now, and then it'll be 60 years wasted.
that's true. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what point I'm trying to make here, but
Well,
listen.
I feel like everyone needs their thing, and your thing could be the guy that's never tried Taco Bell, the one man in America that's never tried
Everybody
Taco
needs
Bell.
that. Everybody needs that. Never have I ever. That
Yes.
Right.
you can lay down in a game. So
Exactly.
Chris has got that in his back pocket always. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so funny. Have you guys ever tried a place called Brahms?
No.
No, so it's a place that is out here that I've never seen in all my travels to everywhere in the country I've been. Never seen it. But I hear it's actually a chain in this part of the country, so I was wondering if you guys had ever heard of it either. But
No. Is it Mexican food or
No, it's burgers and fries and ice cream.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was like, am I just blissfully unaware? And apparently someone I talked to said that they have the best fries out of every fast food restaurant. So I got to go give
Bold
this place
claim.
a shot.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
big claim.
That was my experience when I went and helped Chris move to Tennessee. Was going to Zaxby's for the first time
Yeah, that was a big thing.
because that's not a thing in like north of the Mason-Dixon line, I think.
true.
And it was pretty bad. I think it's fair to say it was not good fast food. It wasn't like
I mean,
a destination fast food, but
But I lived in Tennessee for like a year, and I think we went there like twice. So,
Yeah.
and one of them was the first day we went there. So,
Yeah.
so it's fine. I mean, it's nothing too crazy or anything to write home about. But speaking of food, I started a new job this week. But no. But what's really exciting is I found out that there's this really good barbecue place that we've been to a couple times. My new building is only 7 minutes away from it, so I'm pretty excited about that. The Smoke Pit is what it's called, because barbecue is the best.
Oh, yeah.
So, have you tried Texas barbecue?
Oh, yes. A lot of
Okay.
it. And it is great. It is so good. The place is good when literally, my in-laws have been out here and they love the Dallas area, and we took them to a place called Hutchins out here. And a barbecue place is good when you walk in literally just to buy a hat for your father-in-law, and when you walk out, you have the smell of barbecue on you for the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
I was in there for like 2 minutes.
Nice. That's awesome.
just could you imagine being married to somebody who like is a chef at a barbecue joint and just like
Oh.
they just come home and you're like starving. You can't be married to a person who works at a barbecue restaurant without being like 300 pounds at least.
It's a prerequisite for
Yeah.
sure.
Or if not a prerequisite, at least you'll end up that way.
It's a post-requisite.
Yeah.
This is the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, right. Oh, man. Food's good. I
Food
like
is
food.
good. This is
Yeah,
number 2 episode in a row. We talk about food.
There we go. We're beer and food now. From
It
here on
started,
out.
yeah. It started the snowball effect, and every guest you have on now is gonna be
Just talking about
Yeah.
food. Yeah.
What food do you like? What are your thoughts on Taco Bell?
First
Are
question
you
you
a
ask
Del
any
segment?
guest.
Del Taco or a Taco Bell kind of person.
Yeah. Taco John's, the potato olays.
Taco J-
Another
Then
thing
you're
we
gonna
didn't
have
have in
that
Connecticut.
one weirdo on here who's like, Long John Silver's is my go-to.
Get out of
out.
here.
Disconnected. You're kicked off the podcast and never invited back.
All right, so I think it's that time of the episode where we have actually a special treat for you tonight. Jordan's going to sing us perform live performance,
Acoustic version.
acoustic version.
Test
Of
your
our-
handle.
Our test our handle song, but
Right?
no. All right, so Jordan, this is so weird, but anyway, Jordan, who's here, kick it. Let's go. Here we go.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle.
Mug of Wisdom! Drink. Mug of Wisdom!
All right, wow. Thank you, Jordan, as always.
Yep, that was all live. Right
All
there.
live.
It sounds very similar. I'm very consistent.
Yeah,
Very
you got
good.
that synth on lockdown.
Oh
tell you
yeah,
what.
I always have the MIDI keyboard right next to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh. All right. So I think even though Tud is man of the people, I think because Jordan sang the song, he gets to go first this
All
week.
right, cool.
Okay, that
Sounds
works.
good. So
Yeah.
I got a weird handle that's specific for only people that have a problem that I have. But I think there's more out there than I see. So during the winter, I've always had this problem where my hands get super dry and cracked. Like pretty much my knuckles are just bleeding from September to March. And because I obsessively compulsively wash my hands all day, and then it's cold. I don't dry them enough because I'm too ADD to sit in there and wash my hands. So then they get all cracked. Well, my wife got me this stuff. So they make good lotions out there, right? But my problem is that my hands always feel oily. So I'm stuck between, do I either want my hands to be constantly bleeding or for me to constantly feel squeamish from my hands being too oily because I hate that feeling so much. Well, she found this stuff, and it's from Duke Cannon. It's called Bloody Knuckles. And it says it's formulated to repair the hands of workers, fighters, and world champions. Now, I'm not any of those three, but I decided that I would still give it a shot. This stuff is a life save for anyone who has chapped hands during the winter. It keeps them nice and moisturized without all that residue that a lot of the other ones give you. So if you're OCD like me, and you don't like how things feel on your hands, but you don't want to be bleeding all over everyone every time you shake someone's hand after COVID's over, this is a good product for you to get, this Duke Cannon. So that's really good. And if you want something more relatable, like I said, I'm watching Schitt's Creek. It's great. Go watch that. Something more relatable.
Well, just to piggyback on what Jordan said, I mean, I never really had that issue, and then moved to Montana where it's a lot drier. It's a lot more arid. My hands were cracking more in the winter. And then on top of that, with COVID and all the hand sanitizer and hand washing, I got to be real bad. So I have not evolved to anything as I just have a tub of Vaseline, like a Neanderthal that I am, of just like slathering my hands like I'm from the 19th century or something. But I think I'm overdue for an upgrade. So
this stuff,
I'll have to check this out.
It looks like pomade. Like you think you should be putting it in your hair, but you put it on your hands. And hey, kudos to you for being able to use Vaseline. I'm telling you, I am so weird. If my hands are too slippery or oily, I get like, I feel like I want to crawl out of my skin. So I don't know if that's literally just me and no one else on the planet, but hey, they make this stuff for world champions, and I'm going to keep telling myself that
you're a world champion. There you go.
Yep.
See, I have the counterintuitive thing where I'm like, if it does leave my hands oily, I don't know it's working. I'm like, oh, look, my hands have to be hydrated because they're still shiny.
Yes. I can't hold my beer.
Yeah. So I know my knuckles are protected because I can still see the layer of oil on them. Yeah. No moisture is getting in or out.
It's like sealer for your hands.
Yeah.
All right, so that's mine. I'm done.
Okay,
Hands.
Jordan, who you're handing your mug off to?
I'm going to hand it to you, Obert.
Okay. So this episode comes out that we're recording now is going to come out on Monday, December 14th. And this handle might be a little premature, but it's right after the second episode drops in a show on Showtime called Your Honor, starring Bryan Cranston doing what he does best, which is like morally gray things. I've only seen the one episode so far. There's 9 episodes that are coming out in total for this miniseries. And, if this was going to be a regular reoccurring show, I might say, wait to see a season or two if it's going to get good. But I want to get you, our listeners, in on the ground floor of the show, Your Honor. The premise is basically, I don't want to reveal too much, but basically Bryan Cranston, he's a judge, and his son gets involved in I'll just say he's in a hit and run, and the mob is involved. So that's all I really want to say. So he as a judge has to decide, okay, am I going to protect my son? What am I going to do? And it's just Bryan Cranston doing what he does best, which is just being an amazing actor on screen. I've only seen the one episode so far, and based on that, I'm really looking forward to Sunday, which is the day before you're listening to this, when the second one comes out. But I couldn't wait until the show was done to make it my handle. So that's why I'm saying it for you guys now. Check out Your Honor on Showtime. Really good based on the first of 9 episodes that I've seen.
Yeah, I love all those morally gray characters he plays, kind of like the dad in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yep.
Zordon.
Yep.
Is he
guys.
Zordon?
He was the voice. Yeah, he was Zordon in the new Power Rangers movie.
The new one. Okay.
He voiced some villains in the like OG Power Rangers, but he was
Oh,
Zordon
I didn't know
in
that.
the new one.
That's funny.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Oh,
Jordan is low-key our resident Power Rangers expert.
Oh yeah, I mean anything that only an 8-year-old should be watching, I got your back.
Yeah.
I know all about it.
Okay, so with that, Chris, why don't you top off our Frosty mug here with some wisdom?
Okay. Yeah, so my handle this week is something that I bought, just an extra thing to have for maybe if you're... Have you ever been using a laptop, which is terrible sometimes, and you run out of USB ports? And you're like, what am I going to do? Especially when you need those pesky USB 3.0s. Well, on Amazon, you can buy a USB 3.0 hub, which you can plug into your USB 3.0 slot. And boom, you plug this one, the one I bought, you do have to plug in. But boom, then all of a sudden, you have 7 additional ports. So... it's amazing. Now I know this isn't super exciting, but when you're a streamer,
I know what you're thinking, podcast audience.
I know what you're thinking. This is too good to be true. But when you're a streamer trying to work from a laptop instead of a computer, for whatever reason, whether you're remote or not, I never realized how much I had plugged into my PC. But when you talk about between my my microphone, my webcam, my capture card, my ring light, like all this stuff, and I only have my mouse and everything, it is a pain in the ass, because if you don't, you always sacrifice one thing. Well, I'm not going to use my webcam, I'll use the onboard one, and it's super crappy, or I don't have a mouse, so I have to use the trackpad, which is terrible. So it's just a small quality of life item that I've bought, and I mean, I love it. I use it all the time now. Even on my computer, I have it just sitting on my desk, just in case I ever have to, quick plug something in. Boom, there it is. It's on the desk. Boop, there you go. Extra USB power. If I need to plug in my phone, boop, extra USB power. So,
now, before I put you on blast, I just want to give Jordan the opportunity to, if he wants to jump in, because I know I always do.
Someone already put this out over?
No.
I just don't remember.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of like unique problems that only certain people have, I actually agree with Chris on this. I have a 7-port USB external thing that I use because I do video editing, which is another problem that you have. You have like 500 different hard drives with different raw material on each one from stuff you're shooting, and you have to have them all plugged in at the same time. The thing that you need to be careful about, though, is that each one is rated for a different amount of power usage, and some of these guys will give you 7 slots, but can only output power to 3 of them at a time, which is bogus. But they have like, I forget what it's called, like VHUs or VHWs or something. So you have to make sure that what you're plugging into it isn't going to overload it, because I've had that happen where I've had a hard drive plugged in and you're using some material in there, and then it gets ejected, and I'm like, no, I was editing on that, and then you got to start all over.
Okay,
so I'm not putting him on blast. I'm saying this is relevant.
That's a good pro tip there.
Okay,
yeah, it's a good pro tip. Good pro tip. So,
well, I guess I have to ask, like, at what point is it like, can I just recommend you buy extra like phone chargers on Amazon? Like, you ever try and charge your phone, but your phone charger's in the other room? Buy an extra phone charger.
Listen, I would. Listen, don't think
like,
that's not
a future
coming up.
handle idea.
Handle. You ever want to change a channel, but you don't want to get up?
Yeah.
Remotes.
No, similar vein, I guess. But I since March, I've been working from home, and I have a docking station that I plug. It has like whatever, the same, like a ton of USB ports and my headphone jack and my monitor inputs and all that stuff. So everything I have plugged into my computer, normally I plug into the docking station, and then that I just swap over from either my work computer or my home computer, so that my desktop all stays the same. I use the same keyboard, mouse, monitors, all that stuff. But found it very handy working from home, to switch between the two. So I don't know. You said I know you have a desktop as well as a laptop, Chris. Might be something worth looking at, a docking station. Maybe future handle idea.
Yeah, there you go. That's not a bad idea at all. The only thing it's a good idea,
of
course.
And if you're working from home, you could probably get your job to pay for it. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See, I don't get to work from home. I have to go to work.
I work from work.
I work from work. Oh, man. Now, normally if I'm using my laptop, though, either my PC is broken, which has happened twice, so, that's a possibility, or I'm doing something away from it, like my baking streams or whatever. So, but anyways, there it is. There's the thing that's on my desk that I saw that I thought was pretty neat. So.
That was I just realized that after all these years, there's a remote for your Apple TV on your iPhone. I never knew that. And so when we decorate for Christmas, our Apple TV is behind some garland, which makes it a pain to use the actual remote. You have to get it in position. And you could just use the remote. For years, I have been struggling during Christmas time to change the channel on my Apple TV or just move around. Could have been using my phone this whole time. Who would have known?
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's how
they make
get
life
you.
too easy.
That's why I use Android.
Yeah. I have that Microsoft Zune still.
Actually, I do have one somewhere.
Do you?
There's one in this house, yes.
That has to be worth money or so. That belongs in a museum.
I'm looking up on eBay. How much is a Zune worth?
Well, thank you all for listening to this week's edition of Very Specific Problems Solved by Technology. We want to thank the breweries that provided the beers this week. I'll get started with, I don't even know who brews this. I guess Lexington Brewing and Distilling Co. with their Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Peppermint Porter.
I would like to thank Wild Mind Artisan Ales for their Critical Path Hazy IPA.
And I'd like to thank Roar & Sons Brewing Company for their Winter Warmer English-style dark ale. Make
sure you go over and follow us all on social media. You can follow us on Instagram. Don't bother with Twitter. Basically, Instagram at DAWF Podcast.
Facebook, Untapped.
Facebook, Untapped. Well, again, DAWF Podcast. Go ahead and send us the emails, DAWFpodcast at gmail.com. Shoot us over whatever you're thinking. Whatever you're thinking right now. How cool is a 7 USB pub? Let us know. Make sure you join us on Discord. The invitation link is in the description below. We had some fun talking about my absence of Taco Bell this week, so you want to be in on those conversations, letting us know what it is I'm missing in life. We should make a new channel. What Chris is missing in life.
Of course, that would be a popular channel, I think.
It would. I think it would be. Yeah, it would be. But Jordan, thank you for being here. Go ahead and properly put yourself over.
Yeah, so I am creator and host of a podcast called Wreck My Podcast, which Drinking Alone with Friends has actually been a part of. So go check out their Top Gun episode from a few months ago. But also check out all our other episodes. We cover mostly nostalgic topics, things from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We take things that we remember as being good and see whether or not watching them without the rose-colored glasses of nostalgia, if they stay good or not. That's kind of the gist of what we do. We don't always stick strictly to that, but Wreck My Podcast on all podcasting apps, YouTube as well, wreckmypodcast.com if you want the central hub of where you can kind of see everything that's going on with our Instagram, our YouTube, our audio, all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. We just did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and recently just Jingle All the Way is coming out.
Ooh.
And that's a fun one for Christmas time. And I don't know what we're going to do for Christmas, 2 days before Christmas. I'm not sure which one we're going to do yet, but it'll be good. I promise you that.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't listened to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles yet, but I really did enjoy the Boy Meets World Halloween episode special. That was a good one.
So much fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
I love Boy Meets World. So that was that did not ruin anything for me.
That show's so good. That's such a great show.
It is. It really is.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely check out all of Jordan's podcasts. well, the main one, but it's always a great time, always fun to listen to. Other than that, make sure you check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/beer.gamer.
Give us 5 stars on iTunes.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Do that. Give us 5 stars on iTunes. Rate, review, just 5 stars, and then type whatever you want into the review section. I don't even care what it is. Just type it in, to help some kind of algorithm. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, but
If it's funny enough, we'll read it here live on the podcast.
yeah, there you go. 5-star reviews we'll read on the podcast.
Well, if it's funny enough. Yeah.
If it's funny enough, right? You have to make us at least chuckle.
Yeah.
For them to
So
make
that's
it
why
up.
you never read mine. Okay, I got it.
We just decided this today, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this
okay.
was an executive decision between me and Obert.
I gave him
right
the
now,
look. He gave me the look back, and it was agreed upon.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh man. So hopefully, I don't want to promise anything, but hopefully we get Tud back soon. I don't know. I don't want to push anything, but he's still doing well. So keep him in your thoughts. But he's doing very well. So I think he's back. He was back to work today or yesterday. So he's back to work. So, but yes, we are all obviously thinking and missing Tud very much. Even though we've had 2 very fun episodes with fun friends. And yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So, my name's Chris.
My name's Obert.
And I'm Jordan. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends. Did I get it?
You got it.
We did it.
Yes.
You and Jenna both. One time.
I mean,
Oh.
hey, it's only taken me, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, right?
Podcast to get it.
Right? That's
4
it.
times
That's all it took.
charm.
4 times charm.
So I think I missed it. I was trying to find an empty USB port to plug my phone in to charge it. It's not in here.
See? You fool. You damn fool.